Fellas, I'm going to do something new for you. I'm going to give you a couple hot, quick, golden tidbits of true ingenuity in freaking mass intellect with this particular video. First and foremost, I'm going to show you an exercise that's never, ever been done before. This is a lower back machine that I'm on, and I'm doing a freaking shoulder press, but because you have the lower back weight kind of pushing you, you can change the angle as you lower the weight if you want to do a mechanical drop set, or, you know, maybe like if you want to replicate like a standing overhead press, you know how you arch back and you kind of get a lot of lower back in that. This is replicating that, but it's taking all the discomfort off of your lower back because you're leaning back and you have the weights, but you also have the assistance of the lower back machine, but at the same time, it's also kicking your abdominals in. So you're using some core stability. It's just so different than doing that on a typical incline bench or an upper freaking upright row, you know what I'm saying, a 90-degree shoulder press bench. Okay, this is a meme exercise you've seen, but let me throw this one at you guys, fellas. This is pretty sweet and actually feels pretty good because you're engaging your pecs in that function, that pulling function, kind of like how the pullover works the pecs, which you would think pulling, you're thinking lats, right? You're thinking buys, okay? But when you're crushing it, the way that angle I had that in there, I was pulling, working my freaking pecs in a totally different function than normally with the pressing movements, okay? Now we got this crappy, stupid shoulder machine that feels terrible. It feels like garbage, but I flipped backwards. So if you have one of these at your gyms and it feels terrible, just try flipping around on it. And I'm doing a chicken wing motion, top chook in the house, flapping the big freaking bulbous wings, okay? And this is beautiful because basically what it's doing is you're not taking any momentum. You can reach true freaking failure, you know, max intensity, because obviously the machine will keep you from swinging, momentum, yada, yada. But just grabbing those handles, I feel is like stabilizes the joint more. I don't know. Having that chicken wing motion just makes it feel different. Trust me on this one, fellas. And then this last one, you know, it's a little bit more well-known, but a plyometric pull-up, like a clapping pull-up. You know, if you want to add a little bit more intensity to your pull-ups, but you don't want to add a weighted belt, or if you don't have a belt, you don't want to add weights, sometimes that is indeed a pain in the arse hole, then you can freaking, you know, throw that plyometric factor in there. Clap. You don't even have to clap. Just release the hands. But when you're catching your weight, fellas, it's like that shock trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's like when you jump and you absorb the impact, it's a tremendous amount more tension. So it's kind of the same thing. When you're pulling, you release and you catch it. What's freaking catching it? You know what I'm saying? The forearms, the biceps, the lats, you know, the freaking rhomboids, okay? So it's just a different way to achieve peak freak physique with maybe factors you've never thought about before, right? Fellas, my brain has opened to a new universe in terms of how to approach particular things in the gym, okay? You know, you get a point where you don't know what you're doing. First of all, you don't know when you first start, I'm getting fired up. When you first start training, you don't know what you're doing, right? And then you kind of learn the ropes. And eventually you learn the ropes, and it's like, okay, I know everything. I'm freaking, you know, Johnny high IQ, right? You feel like you know everything. So then you see other people do stuff, and it's like, well, it's not, you know, he's not doing his form's not perfect. You know, what's that? And there's ego lifting, and meme lifts, and half reps, and all that. But then, as you get more and more experience, eventually you realize, you know what? There's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? And the funniest thing is, like, I'm not even going to get into this right now, but listen, fellas, I can't get away from this crap online on YouTube. Every video I see is this Sam Sulek, or whatever, however you pronounce it. But you guys clearly know what I'm talking about because he's just literally everywhere right now in, you know, all things fitness. But all the videos are like critiquing diets and critiquing his form and all that. And at the end of the day, from what I've noticed is he just, you know, he pushes himself, peak intensity, pushes himself, balls to the wall. So it doesn't matter if it's a full rep, a half rep, slow, controlled, concentric, or freaking herky-jerky, fast, explosive reps. Like, at the end of the day, fellas, you freaking try hard, and you're going to see better results than the people that are doing the slow and the full range of motion and all that. It's that simple, and that's all that it comes down to. So the point I'm bringing this up with this video is that, sometimes there's, more than one way to look at a particular machine or a movement, an exercise, whatever it may be, right? You could try a machine, you could be like, oh, that doesn't feel very good. That feels like crap, right? But have you tried turning around with it? Have you tried utilizing the leverage in a totally different way than you've thought about before? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because a machine is designed to be, let's say, for instance, like that shoulder, that lateral raise machine. When I went up to that thing, because I gave up on that. The first time I used it, I said, this feels terrible. It's tiny. It feels like awful. But just today, with a whole new freaking mindset, I went in there and I tried doing a row with the handle. I tried doing a drag curl with the handle. And that's when I switched it around and said, okay, these freaking, chicken wing flapping jacks, this feels pretty damn good. So my point is, open mind, but no matter what you do, like, stuff might look stupid, but you just rock the hell out of that exercise with peak cojones. Like, fellas, you're going to see some freaking stimulus, right? It's really as simple as that.